I'm Chris Arabsky, and welcome to KARE 11 Extras. These are the stories that take a little extra time to tell, a little extra time to research, to find. They are meant to inform and inspire. And in this episode, what are the odds? The rise of so-called prediction markets, what people are betting on, and why reining them in may not be that easy. Then assault room, a panic room, 18 bathrooms. We go inside one of the most expensive homes to ever be listed in Minnesota. But we begin in the land of 10,000 stories. We first told you about this quirky spot in St. Louis Park in 2019. We even tracked down the man behind it, but he wouldn't reveal his identity publicly for fear that he'd be told to stop. Fast forward to today, not only is he willing to talk, he's expanding his effort. Boyd Huppert has more on his unusual calling.
Take this and this.
What we see every day, we stop seeing. Take freeway noise barriers, no longer worthy of even our passing glances, unless you're Dave Gatzmer.
Very handy.
And a noise barrier calls you.
There we go.
A few years back,
Ta-da!
Dave saw in his neighborhood more than a newly constructed wall.
I saw this new blank canvas.
The artist grabbed a few old phones and hung up,
And I put up 5.
which have grown to a couple hundred, which led to a nickname Dave didn't seek, connecting him to the world's best-known street artist.
I've been coined Phone Banksy, which stuck.
These are all prepped and ready to go.
Which, being spring, brings another crop.
Some lady found me on Facebook. She mailed me this. It's still in the box. Brand new. She really wants this up there.
Which
Up it goes.
is how he got here.
One of my friends came. This was his Halloween costume. He came as my wall.
Look around. It kinda fits.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
Unsure others would find this so amusing, Dave started by hanging phones anonymously
I was sneaking over here at night doing it.
until phone Banksy came to a revelation.
If you've got a pizza box or a ladder, people just let you go anywhere you want.
Now a phone company has assembled 20 feet above a bike trail with the blessings of both local and state officials and Louis' chauffeur.
We check out the phones like every day. Motorcycle. Yeah, that's his favorite.
Dave
R2D2 is pretty cool.
also has
There's a piano phone.
some faves.
The Sports Illustrated football phone.
A museum of both art and history,
Probably the oldest one.
harkening back to a time when a mobile phone was a 10-foot cord.
iPhone 17.
Ever used a rotary phone before?
No.
Julian
No, never.
and Delphine Munson
A good black rotary,
will never experience slamming one of these
just heavy.
on a telemarketer.
Boom! It just makes you feel better.
Like how they're all up there and they're not in a landfill somewhere.
Good,
People put their phones in there.
because Dave's
Donation point.
collecting more.
It's been overflowing and there's been bags of phones.
After all, there's plenty more. Wall.
As long as they keep coming, I'll keep putting them up.
Boyd Huppert, KARE 11 News, St. Louis Park.
Dave says he's never paid for a phone. All of them are donated. The noise barrier is located near Carpenter Park, that is in St. Louis Park. You can now watch full half-hour specials from Boyd's Land of 10,000 Stories wherever you stream. You can also watch every story from the beginning in 2004 by searching for The Land of 10,000 Stories, the complete collection, on YouTube.
It's among the most expensive homes to ever go on the market in Minnesota.
Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding?
How? Now this one's my favorite.
Get a look inside and out next.
Right now, what we're told is the most expensive home to ever be listed in Minnesota is on the market. We're talking $50 million. To put that into perspective, the reported record for the most expensive home sale in Minnesota is about $17.5 million. That was set back in 2006. So what does a mega mansion of this proportion even look like? Our Morgan Wolf recently got a tour.
A first of its kind along the shores of Lake Minnetonka. Smashing Minnesota real estate records, I bring to you the nearly 30,000 square foot Lake Point Estate.
Hello.
Engel & Volker's agents Lindsay Bacigalupo and Christine Smith opening the doors, revealing a space even more impressive inside.
Gorgeous views greet you immediately as you step into this space.
Italian steel and glass 12-foot tall doors paired with marble and maple floors that you'll find throughout the home.
This is one of my favorite spaces in the home.
The kitchen created to be a space for gathering with 3 islands, seating for 16 for meals, and a space that seems perfect for morning coffee. Even a prep kitchen off to the left.
It's the scale, right? The scale, the texture, the beauty of everything that's in here.
That scale includes 8 bedrooms,
Look at this view. I know.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
which are all equally elegant. Intentional combinations of textured wallpaper, wood, and light fixtures, making each space unique, but blended into the overall elevated designs.
Can I have this vanity
Right?
at my house? It is for sale.
18 bathrooms that are all different too, from 3-dimensional wall tile to brass mixed into the floor patterns.
So now we're walking into the primary bedroom space.
Here awaits a laundry room, a panic room for security and safety,
This is where I would put all of my work dresses.
and a custom walk-in closet the size of a bedroom. As for the actual primary bedroom,
This is the size of my living room.
it's 2,300 square feet.
My living room, sorry, it's a little smaller.
The primary suite's bathroom includes 2 showers and 2 toilets and a very rare marble tub. And that even stopped my photographer in his tracks.
Don't break it, we'll have to buy it. Please do, actually.
It was fun to fantasize.
I officially can say I would never leave the house.
But the craftsmanship from John Kramer and Sons Builders truly shines throughout the home. There isn't a single amenity that wasn't thought of. A spa with a steam, sauna, massage, and salt room. A full gym, cigar lounge,
How?
and a Mediterranean-inspired wine cellar.
This is where I would hide out during a tornado warning.
After your massage.
After my massage.
For entertainment, a movie theater, golf simulator, a full bar, and bowling alley.
How many times have you put a bowling alley in a house?
This is the first time.
PK Architecture and Martin Patrick III joined the team after construction started. The 5-year project hit hurdles during COVID, including big delays in getting materials.
Very difficult to get from overseas, so we did try to use as many local materials as possible.
Martin Patrick specifically designed every piece of furniture in the home, which is included in the sale.
It's a little bit of a blend.
As for the outside design, TEA2 and Topo Landscape Architecture were in charge of the sprawling 8 acres.
There's a little bit of English arts and craft, some sort of English and French kind of country manners that you would see, the low sweeping roofs.
Was there any limit?
There's always a limit.
Matthew Erickson helped choose materials meant to last decades. Limestone, granite, and quartz lining the walls outside, topped with a slate roof. And they found a way to work the hills on the property into the design. There's 2 guest homes, a boathouse and lake porch, 16 attached garage spaces, and a pool area equipped with a detached pool house.
Being in here and understanding the scale and the scope and the depth of everything that you just can't get in the photos.
It does not compete. Does not even come close.
It doesn't.
To how it looks in person.
Which begs the question, why is this dream home on the market? A family lost before it was finished led to the decision to list it.
Our sole focus is just making sure that we are doing right by the family and by the estate. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, especially in Minnesota. There's not homes like this that are built to this quality.
Its $50 million price tag is just a fraction of what it would cost to build this in 2026, also making it potentially the highest home sale in Minnesota history.
I do believe it's going to be a legacy home. It's going to be something that's going to be handed down generation to generation to generation. So that's kind of the buyer that we visualize is going to be purchasing this home.
We saw so much more on that tour, but simply didn't have enough time to get it all in. And that is what YouTube is for. And you can watch the whole thing there on the KARE 11 channel, or you can download our KARE 11 Plus app and just search Mansion for an extended tour. Prediction markets exploding.
Everyone I know is addicted to gambling.
The crazy things people are putting their money on.
I mean, it's gamified everything.
And why pulling it back now may not be so simple. Next. A federal judge will soon decide if prediction markets will be legal in Minnesota. It is the first state to ban the apps where everyday folks can wager on anything from sports to speeches to song popularity, all from your phone. The rise of these apps have become the latest legal battleground between states' rights and federal oversight. Here's more on exactly how it works and how it's all playing out. Remember when the U.S. swooped in and captured the president of Venezuela?
How do you feel, sir?
This Army soldier allegedly made $400,000 off of it. According to federal fraud charges, he accurately bet when Maduro's capture would occur while helping plan the mission. In France last month, the Paris airport thermometer shot up 6 degrees in a matter of seconds, prompting a $21,000 payout for one bettor and an investigation into tampering. Even one Minnesota state senator got caught recently betting on his own congressional race while co-authoring a bill to ban that very thing. These wagers aren't made in a casino or a sports book. Prediction markets, as they're called, are on your phone in every state, regardless of state law, taking bets on just about anything you can imagine.
It definitely is a free-for-all. Every day there's new controversies.
Sam McQuillan is a journalist who's covered all the big bets, bad ethics, and court cases to date.
What would be the legal 30-second argument as to why that's legal?
Because it's not a bet.
It is a
financial swap, federally regulated by the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, as Congress gave the power to in the 1930s when they passed the CEA.
It's a loophole that turns sports betting into like stock trading.
Yep.
The concept of futures trading goes back thousands of years. Lock in a price today for goods delivered at a later date. In the U.S., farmers and investors have used it since the 1840s to hedge against the risk of a bad harvest. Today, the two largest prediction markets, Kalshi and Polymarket, have expanded this concept to everyday events. Unlike casinos that profit when you lose, they take a percentage of every trade placed. Both companies are approved and regulated by the CFTC, whose chairman is appointed by the president.
The whole world, unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino.
Not unfortunate for President Trump's son, Donald Jr., who is an advisor for both Polymarket and Kalshi. His investment firm reportedly invested 8 figures into Polymarket. To date, the appetite and the growth of this industry has been staggering. Major platforms brought in fewer than $100 million a month at the start of 2024 to more than $13 billion in just November of 2025. 130 times more money in less than 2 years.
Show me the combos. Building combos.
Platforms like Kalshi regularly market to college-aged males.
Do you think it's a problem among youth?
100%. Everyone I know is addicted to gambling.
Students at the U of M offered a mixed take on this issue.
I think that having the ability to bet on everything like that can be pretty harmful.
I wouldn't say it's a problem, really. No one I know really has too much of a gambling problem with Kalshi or Polymarket.
The data that comes from these markets is just so important.
Problem or not, Kalshi has won in court, and its founders continually claim this type of trading is not only legal, but needed for the future. They claim, and data shows, prediction markets can provide more accurate predictions than certain political polls or expert forecasters. They also claim these futures tools have always been available to big corporations in Wall Street. Why not the people?
Overnight.
It's legal suddenly. There's not a thing that you can do about it according to the federal government.
Right. And according to Kalshi and Polymarket. However, we're saying our law already prohibits that kind of bets. We're just clarifying the law.
DFL State Senator John Marty co-authored a bill that defines prediction markets as a form of illegal gambling, banning their operation in the state.
If you set up a sports book here in Minnesota right now, you'd be committing a crime. If you use prediction markets to set up a sports book, that's a crime too.
The bill passed the Senate 56-10 with bipartisan support. Republican Senator Jordan Rasmussen would also like to see a prediction market ban.
I'm not opposed to on-premise gambling, but I think when you put a casino on people's phones, in their pockets, that's when you see problem gambling dramatically increase.
The bill now sits in conference committee awaiting final approval with the clock ticking.
So what do you think? You think it'll pass?
Oh, I don't bet on that kind of stuff, so.
A safe bet would be the Supreme Court taking on the issue, as 7 states are challenging the legality of prediction markets. Ultimately, what's at stake? Who controls gambling laws and whether people will be able to bet on just about anything. I reached out to Polymarket and Kalshi for a response, but didn't hear back. Both companies joined the federal government in suing Minnesota to block the ban on these apps, which starts August 1st. The government, under President Trump, argues states have no say in futures trading apps, while the state argues it has the right to protect its citizens from public harms.
My wife is having a medical emergency.
A woman in a medical emergency and a surprise $5,600 ambulance bill.
You shouldn't have to worry about whether your ambulance ride is going to be covered when you're in a life and death situation.
Why most Minnesotans could face the same problem. KARE 11 investigates next.
In a life-threatening medical emergency, a North Branch couple called 911. Little did they know the ambulance bill would be thousands of dollars and not in network for their insurance. And you may be surprised to hear that Minnesota patients are actually more likely than not to get those surprise bills. Lauren Lemanchek investigates why.
This is Sauger County 911. My wife is having a medical emergency.
At 4 a.m., a 911 call from a North Branch home.
I don't even know what her issue is. She's screaming in pain.
In the background, Mary Snow screams.
Just needed help.
And when I came out,
Paul Hegestad remembers seeing his wife on the living room floor,
just writhing in pain.
And I just have never been in that much pain before.
Mary had a serious blood infection.
I just didn't feel like I could move.
Her system was shutting down.
Ambulance showed up, they did their thing, they took her to the hospital, and I thought, wow, I'm sure glad we have our insurance to cover everything.
But what Paul and Mary did not know, the ambulance service assigned to their area, Lakes Region EMS, is out of network with just about every insurance carrier.
And that's a big chunk of change.
Here's the bill, $5,674. United Healthcare paid just over $1,000, leaving Paul and Mary stuck with a $4,630 tab.
Once I got that bill, I called United Health Group and said, what's the deal? And they're like, well, it's out of network.
Twice he appealed, twice shot down. The last letter from United Healthcare said it was a final appeal.
But who's going to tell me who's in network and who's not? And who cares at 4 o'clock in the morning when your wife is on the ground screaming?
And here's the thing, even if someone did tell him, they wouldn't have had a choice of provider. Minnesota law spells out which ambulance service covers your county, but it doesn't require that insurance cover it. How often are ambulance bills out of network for insurance in Minnesota?
Often.
Susan Long with the Minnesota Ambulance Association says the reason comes down to money. Ambulance services in Minnesota are struggling to stay afloat, and Long says too often insurance doesn't pay them enough for services.
Most of them are small ambulance services, which just don't have the negotiating power to go to an insurance company and to get rates that are sustainable for them to continue their operations.
United Healthcare argues ambulance providers often charge too much. In Mary's case, they point to a bill of more than $5,600, when a state report shows the average emergency bill in the metro, including Chisago County, is between $1,700 and $2,000. So who's stuck in the middle?
Very scary.
Minnesotans like Mary in a moment of life and death.
I just don't think it's right.
There's a federal law called the No Surprises Act to stop surprise health care bills, but it leaves out ground ambulance. 22 states have fixed that, but not Minnesota.
This has to get done.
State Representative John Hewitt has a background in EMS, so he understands the business.
You had your worst day of your life, and then you end up having this surprise bill come in. It's not good.
And thinks the answer is something that will take sacrifice from both sides, setting the rates for emergency ambulance providers and forcing insurers to pay them.
Who wins? I don't know if anybody wins, but we got to make sure the public wins.
Both the Ambulance Association and insurers say they're willing to work on a solution, but it will have to wait until next legislative session. Until then, Minnesota patients like Mary may find the heart attack comes after the ambulance drives away.
You shouldn't have to worry about whether your ambulance ride is going to be covered when you're in a life and death situation.
After 5 months and multiple appeals, just hours after we contacted United Healthcare for this story, Mary and Paul got a call saying they'd cover all of Mary's ambulance bill. The company says they negotiated with the provider to reduce the rate. And they tell us the timing is just a coincidence. For KARE 11 Investigates, I'm Lauren Lemanchek.
If you have something you'd like our I-Team to look into, just send an email to investigations@kare11.com. Thanks for joining us, and remember, you can continue to catch up on all the KARE 11 extras wherever you stream. I'm Chris Arabsky. Thanks for watching.